Thank you for tuning in to the Athletes Portal show. I am your host, Keith Williams, the father of two talented athletes, a basketball player and a track athlete. The Athletes Portal is a podcast show about what's going on in youth sports. We interview the community that leads and supports the success of student athletes in the classroom, on the field, and life after sports. That community is coaches, high school, AAU, college, trainers, mental health professionals, NIL agents, and most important, parents who've raised successful student athletes who will make sure that you tune into this podcast because these guests share what it takes to succeed in today's sports world. No theory here, just reality. Now let's introduce our first guest today to the show. Our first guest grew up in Las Vegas, played college basketball at the Division I level at Pepperdine University for 4 years, and then played overseas. He is a father of two kids and the owner of the 3P Athletics, the Shark Tank, a place where he develops athletes from elementary to pro. Please welcome Champ Barlow to the Athletes Portal. Champ, how are you doing this afternoon?
Oh, man, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm doing well. And just really quick, so I went to junior college first.
Okay.
I went to junior college for 2 years, and then I went to Pepperdine for 3.
Oh, thank you for making that correction. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Well, this leads me to another question. How did that transition from junior college prepare you for Division I?
So when I was in high school, I had 3 Division I offers, but the schools, I wouldn't have been able to play right away. Just being who I was, I wanted to play. So I decided to go to junior college and then get myself more prepared so that when I transferred, I could go right in and play. So
Excellent.
That was my trajectory. So what ended up happening was I went to junior college and then I got player of the year and athlete of the year and those kind of things. And then once I decided on what school I wanted to go to, which was Pepperdine, that's when I made that transition. And then going into the transition from junior college to Division I, the difference was they were faster. It was faster, more athletic, and they had other goals. They weren't just there just because. They were there because they wanted to go play pro. They wanted to go be higher level players. So it was much more intense and it meant more to the other players.
And how do you see today's world changing? Because now I think, you have to almost take a different path, whether it's post-grad, junior college, for a lot of student athletes. How much has that changed from when you came up? Because you didn't come up in the NIL era.
No. Well, the biggest thing, when all of this started, the biggest thing that changed was the COVID years. Once the college kids start getting the COVID year, which meant a complete extra year on top of the 4 or 5 that you already get, that changed the landscape of college basketball and just college sports in general because kids got extra years in college. And so for me, it was, hey, you get 4 and 5 max. 5 was if you redshirt, that's 1 year, and then you get 4 years to play, and then you're done. And that was it. And so transferring was completely different. So no portal. We had to sit out a year. So I didn't transfer from Pepperdine because I would have to sit out my senior year. After my junior year, I wanted to transfer, but I would have to sit out a year. You can't do that. You know what I mean? Like now you can just transfer and go play next year. Start up and get right going. So that's been a huge difference. Those are the baby differences that I started with. And now when you incorporate NIL and you can get paid, oh my gosh, it's the best thing in the world. Now you can transfer. It's like a job.
Yeah.
You show up, you play, you get paid, go to school if you want to.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a whole different ball game these days.
Yeah. I also think that, you have 2 kids. Your oldest is a multi-sport athlete. I think your oldest is blessed to have a dad who's gone through this. How are you going to navigate, how are you going to help navigate your son through this? Because he's playing multiple sports. He's young now. He has time, but how do you see yourself navigating him through this world? Because, he's playing 3 sports, which is unusual.
Honestly, I'm already doing it now. So I'm just trying to prep him for what it takes. And I'm trying to develop his fundamentals in all of the sports that he plays. So he plays basketball, baseball, and football. And so I'm trying to just give him the basics so he understands what it really takes to get there. And then on the back end, I'm making the connections. I'm working on his branding. I'm getting I got his nickname. I got everything already situated. We're developing his Instagram. We're just trying to build it and build his brand up so that by the time he gets to about 13 or 14, he'll be on the trajectory to go to whatever lengths he needs to in whichever sport that he decides to choose. Because I'm not going to choose it for him. I'm going to let him choose his own sport, but he will be ready when it comes to that. And we're just trying to set him up now so that when he can start getting paid, he will start getting paid. We're not going to wait.
I know. I believe it. I believe it. I got to ask you another question about that. Are you finding that coaches, because he's playing 3 sports, especially basketball, football, and baseball, those are time consuming. Baseball, especially. Are you getting pushback from some of the coaches and they're trying to get you maybe to do one sport? And I know that that's nonsense. I know that's not a good idea, but do you feel like you're getting that pressure?
Not yet. He's not getting it yet because it's just not, it doesn't work. Not yet. But
Okay.
if he played on certain teams, he would get that pressure because there are some travel baseball teams.
Yeah, I knew it.
Will completely dominate your entire
Yep.
thing. They'll dominate everything. And then, like, luckily, our travel baseball coach, his son plays on my basketball team.
Oh, good.
So, okay with adjusting it and figuring out how to make it work. And then, tackle football, that's only a certain amount of time, so we're okay with that. But
That's
now
good.
he's playing this 7-on-7 flag football.
Yeah.
So that's kind of jumping in right now with basketball and with baseball. It's all starting right now.
Yeah, I know. It's a crazy time for you.
Yeah, it's very crazy. Like
I got to ask you this, and nope.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying he has basketball training yesterday, basketball practice, and right after that he had football training after that, and then like today he has basketball training and then baseball practice, and then Saturday he has 3 football games.
Wow.
And basketball training.
Yeah, and I know Champ's son doesn't take any slacks when it comes to development. I know you've got him in the tank, so I know he's busy.
Yesterday he had training with me.
Yes.
And then Saturday morning he has training with me.
Yeah. I gotta ask you. Yeah, I gotta ask you another question. I'm enjoying this. I'm sorry I keep pushing on this thing, but what happens? At what age does he break off from training with you, possibly? Because as a son,
it honestly just depends on him.
Okay.
So like this was the first season that I didn't coach him in basketball.
Okay.
So I let him play for another coach because I wanted to see how he responded to other coaching.
Yes.
And it was okay. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. His maturity just stepped up. So we were trying to figure out, was it maturity or was I too hard on him when it came to coaching?
Yeah.
And so that's going to be the same thing when it comes to training him. All of his friends come with me. All of his friends come with me. So it's like, who you going to go to? Why would you go to me? I'm the best trainer. I'm the best trainer. Why would
I know that.
go to the best? But I'm not opposed to it. And I let my buddy, my guy who works with me, Coach AJ, I let him train him a lot.
Oh, good.
You know what I mean? I have direct access to Coach AJ, and
I know that.
I would sit upstairs and watch and make sure that he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. But I'm not opposed to him training with someone else once he gets older. But we will lock in with that one person, and that will be his trainer. He won't keep swaying from trainer to trainer. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, that makes sense. And another question, one final question about him is: does he have one sport that he's leaning more towards? No pressure. You don't have to.
No, he don't, because he's pretty good in all of them, man.
That's amazing.
He's really good. He plays really good positions in all of the sports that he plays. So
wow,
he's just enjoying it. His biggest thing is he likes to be with his friends.
That
if
makes
he's
sense.
With his friends, he doesn't care. He likes to go out. He likes to go out to eat after the games. That's his big thing. Win or lose. Can we go eat? Can we go eat? Okay.
Yep.
So that's where he's at right now.
Definitely. So for parents who are thinking about investing in development, can you break down the value of going individual versus training with the group? And when should they start thinking about doing this?
So it just depends on your athlete, what level he is, and what you're looking to get out of it for your athlete. And so if your athlete is a higher level player, you might want to focus, like for both individuals, you're going to want individual training as well as group training. And so for your high level players, you're going to want the individual attention so that you can fine tune the things that he's not as good at.
Mhm.
And that is why you would do individual training for that particular athlete, and then the group training that would follow it, because what you work on individually, now you can put him in a group setting and then make him do it, and
Yes.
make him only work on these things while training with the group setting. And now
Excellent.
for the developmental athlete, you might want individual training for development and development purposes, so he can get multiple reps, because he might need more reps doing a certain thing, like just layups, for example. He needs proper footwork. You need to be able to follow, finish high, proper ways with left hand and right hand. So that's what the individual would be for the developmental kid. And then the group setting for developmental kid will work because he's seeing his peers. As long like he can see kids that are a little bit better than him and kids that are a little bit worse. So then that helps with confidence, self-confidence. That also helps with learning how to be a part of a group setting and a team setting. So it works for both. And then I say you make that decision based on you as a parent. At what age do you decide to break them off into individual training versus group? Because your athlete is you see him. So you know
Yes.
what he actually truly needs as a parent.
Definitely, definitely. So, you train high school, college, and pro players. And, college today is different from when you attended. What advice would you give for high school players? Because, trying to prepare for the next level. Because we've seen a lot of kids who are struggling to get to that next level. It's a small percentage of kids. I mean, it's not a lot of kids that we see getting there. Can you speak on that? Because I know you've seen kids come through.
Yeah. So a big thing is the training. That is what is going to make the difference. Are you strength training? Are you getting your individual reps in? Are you working on your own, like on your own game by yourself? Do you wake up in the morning and say, I got to go get some work in. I got to go run a mile. I got to go put up 100 shots, made shots. I have to go do this. And then your parent takes you to training. And then you go to basketball practice. And then you go back and lift weights. Like, you have to put in so much more work, and it has to be inside of you. It's a you thing. It's not anybody else. You can't be given work ethic. So the biggest thing for me is work ethic. I say if you have the work ethic, you can achieve certain things. And then getting with the right people can help guide you to where you want to go.
Yeah. I also want to say, I'm going to emphasize, I'm going to add to this, the right trainer makes a difference, and a trainer going out and watching your kid play. Because I remember when you trained my son Jackson, you went out to his games and you saw the things he needed to work on.
Yep.
And so that made a big difference in how you customize the training for him. So I remember the sophomore year when he had to play in the post. He had to play because O'Neal went down. O'Neal got injured. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do.
So, and you said, we're going to work on post game.
That's what we're going to do.
And I'll say something. I'm going to say something right now. That made a difference in him getting Division I offers, because he learned how to guard bigs. And apparently in Division I, if you're a point guard who can guard bigs, that's valuable to them. So thank you for that.
A lot of switching.
Yeah.
It's a lot of switching. You just because you get switched on don't mean you can't guard or score. You got to be able to do everything on the court.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So
as a trainer,
again,
as a good trainer, if you want to be a successful trainer, it's very important that you show up to your clients' games. It's very important that they see you so that they know, okay, if I do this, he gonna get on me because he told me don't do it. So I can't do it. And so it helps them, keeps a refresher. And then it also shows you how they act in real time with real pressure and how they're being coached. Because that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at how the coach is coaching them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how the coach is coaching them. I know how to put him in the right settings in training, because if the coach is not going to allow him to do certain things, we're not going to work on that in training. It's no point. Why would I have you working on 1,000 dribble moves and he got you in the corner shooting threes?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying? So that's important as well, to know how the coach is going to coach your player, your athlete, or your student that you're training, as well as what he actually does in the game, so that you can fine tune it and help them master those things.
Definitely. I gotta ask you another thing. How is the new facility? Because I know you moved from Alpharetta to Cummings. I've seen some videos. How is that new location?
I'm loving it, man. Like, it's good for me. I have a lot of clientele up this way, so it made it easier for more people to stay with me and keep coming. And then I also live 2 minutes away.
Oh, nice.
So
I knew there was something to that. That makes sense.
I'm right to the house as soon as this interview's over. I'm to the house, eat lunch.
Nice.
It's easy, man. But yeah, I have a good partner here, Coach Harvey. He's a really good guy, and we share a lot of similarities, and we're doing a lot of joint work. And then like I'm helping out a couple AAU programs like NGE, and we're doing some really good things in the community, helping a lot of the kids out. And so we got a lot of good things going over here.
Do you think, speaking of AAU, do you think maybe you might think of launching an AAU program or partnering with somebody who already has an existing AAU program, maybe on the independent circuit?
Yeah. So the NGE program that I was just speaking about,
Yes.
I'll probably I'll probably coach my son's team.
Okay.
And
All right.
so we'll probably do that. We'll probably join up with them and just be a third grade team underneath that umbrella. I won't actually have a full AAU program. I just don't have the time with running the gym. So I'll be able to just coach my son's team and help grow that and then funnel other kids to the program that I'm helping out.
Okay. How do you think kids should balance AAU versus development, especially starting at a young age? Because I'll tell you, AAU takes up a lot of time and it takes away from development and that. I'd like you to speak on that. Like, what's a good solution? What's a good balance?
So the biggest thing in why I like the AAU program that I'm talking about is because that is the focus, is development. And
Yes.
so it's mandatory for all the kids on the team to come in here to 3P and train. It's mandatory. It's not a debate. You don't get to say whether you're going or not. So we structured the practices so that if you have practice on Monday and Thursday, okay, Wednesday is your day to be with 3P. And so it's already baked into your payment. So you already
Yes.
pay for AAU. So you're just showing up. It's like a third day of practice. But
Nice.
that's when we focus on strength training, development, individual stuff. And I have direct access with the coach, and he lets me know, hey, this person needs to work on this. This is what I want from this person. And so to answer your question, I say get with the right AAU program that's going to specialize and focus and have a focus on those things that will actually transfer onto your student athlete, and they care about the development of your athlete because they have a direct relationship with the trainer as well as with recovery, nutrition. All of
Nice.
those things matter. And
Yeah.
so when you do that and you want to build highly tuned athletes, you need to be with the proper AAU program that specializes in that.
Yeah. I got to ask you another thing. Are you also, when you're doing the nutrition and you're doing the strength training, at what age level are you starting with? Because that makes a big difference.
So we do speed and agility and quickness training and plyometric training with all athletes. So that
Oh,
starts
that's good.
at about 7.
Good.
So yeah, so like my son's team, they come in here, we do ladder drills, we do plyo boxes, we do push-ups, we do sit-ups, we do squats, we do lunges. They're working out as
Yeah.
well as let's make these left-hand layups. Let's
Nice.
dribble up the
Yeah.
court with your left hand. Let's
Yeah.
put it between your legs. Let's keep your head up. Let's shoot, hold your follow through. So we're doing both.
Oh, that's smart.
I start them now.
Yeah.
Start them now. And that builds the foundation and it builds the work ethic so that once they get to 8th, 9th, 10th grade,
Yeah,
they're
they're good.
so familiar with the weight room. They're so familiar with working out that it's normal. And
Yeah.
so now that it's normal, you don't have to force them. And so many parents come in and speak to me about helping pull the dog out and make my son aggressive and he won't do this, he won't do that. And I got to pick him up and take him here and there. Well, if you start them out early, doing it
Yeah.
already, it becomes consistent. It's just like telling them to make their bed in the morning, brushing their teeth in the morning.
Yeah.
If you teach them, hey, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you get up, you work out, you go to school, you do your homework, you go to practice, then you go, you know what I mean? Like you get them in the habit, it becomes normal. And so I say start them early, get them in and get them on a regimen so that they just understand that this is just what we do. This is not something I have to do. This is what we do.
Yeah. Champ, I'll tell you, that's a separator because unfortunately, I see a lot of AU programs doing the exact opposite. They barely have practices and they just go and they play and it's just showcase and it's
game after game after game.
Game after game. And it's like, that's not getting it done. That's not how you do it, but that's what a lot of people do. So I like the fact the Europeans do that, right?
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm taking my thing. That's why I said by 14. By 14, I want my son to be able to play professionally or on track to start playing professionally somehow. Some kind of academy, some kind of basketball development thing. I'm liking what OTE is doing over there. I'm gonna get more involved over there and just to kind of see what they're doing and how they're doing it, and then I'm gonna get with some baseball academies as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what he's gonna pick, but
Yeah, that's true.
I wanna have relationships on both ends
Yeah.
so that my son doesn't get shortchanged on at any cost.
Yeah, that's true. I'll tell you what I see could be a possible opportunity or conflict is if he does two sports and one institution is good for one school is better for one sport, one's better for the other.
Yep.
And he might have to make a tough decision there.
You got to make a pick. You got to. Because at some point he's going to have to figure it out. Like because you're going to have that focus, and having that focus matters a lot. I believe it's very, very special athletes that can play two sports throughout their entire high school career. You got to be special and be elite at both.
Yeah,
I'm talking about being elite at both, not just being good. A lot of players,
no, you're right.
I did it. Yeah, but you didn't make first team nothing. You didn't get player of the year. You wasn't the star. Like, you were just a good player. Yeah. That's different. Everybody's not Allen Iverson, Charlie Ward. Those dudes were special. Yeah. It was different. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say that.
And that's a rare athlete. And I say that just to say that a lot of schools, the schools that are good for baseball, is baseball. They don't have an elite basketball team. Just so you know.
The boosters aren't there.
I mean, it'd be great if they had an elite basketball team, elite football team, and elite baseball team, but I just haven't seen it.
Buford.
Buford, you're right. Buford. There you go. Buford, you're right.
Buford puts in the work. I do agree with that. And they got good girls teams.
Yeah. Because your daughter's doing sports too. Yeah. What is she doing though? What sports does she focus on?
She does swimming. And then she does dance, ballet dance, hip hop dance, all of that kind of stuff.
I know how you guys do it because that swimming is no joke.
It's no joke.
Swimming is serious.
She had her first little swim meet like last month.
How'd she do?
She did good.
Good.
She told me, I'll tell you the story really quick. She got out of the pool and got her little ribbon. Like they said, go, boom. She got out of the pool and they gave her the red ribbon, right? And she came over, she's like, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. I was like, hey, baby, good job. She said, you know that girl that got out of the pool and finished before me? I was like, yeah, I saw her. She's like, yeah, she came in second.
That's your daughter. That's your daughter.
Right there, yeah. She
nice.
come in second. Yeah, I know
she's competitive. That's great.
I know she finished before you. It's okay.
Yeah.
She came in first.
And the thing about swimming is it takes a lot of time to just prep and get ready for it. And it's literally like 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Down
back and forth. And you spend all this time getting prepared.
Man.
It's
cool.
Yeah. So another thing, like I know you were talking about your son's brand, building up his brand. You know, we're seeing NIL, we're seeing pros going into college. Where do you see all this going, this landscape?
Going? It's already gone. It's already there. Like the proof is in the pudding. It's not a concept anymore. This is real. You have to have a brand. You have to be marketable. You see the kid that did the 6'7". Yeah. That's a brand. Yeah. He got that now and he's blown it up. He has water now. He has shoes, shirts. They got baseball gear with it on there, like copyrighted it. Like it's a big thing. So it's time now. You have to, the time is right now. Like there is no waiting around, none of that. You have to get in or get ran over right now.
Yeah.
Right now. If you're not starting right now, you're already late to the party.
Yeah. Are you seeing agents coming in now? I know it's your son's in elementary, but are you seeing it maybe at the middle school level? Like what's the lowest level I know they're hitting up high schoolers.
So I know that they're hitting up the top 8th graders, like the top level. But if you think about it, the majority of the top 8th graders are all reclass kids.
Yes, that's true.
So they should be in high school.
Yeah.
But they're reclass. So people are more interested in them. You know, the 6'8" kid that's doing windmill dunks on Instagram every other day because he's playing against kids that are 5'6".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's 6'8". I mean, but so you can see some guys talking, and it's not necessarily agents, but managers.
Yes.
Managers, NIL managers, those kind of things. And so I'm coming up with classes, and me and a partner of mine, we're coming up with different classes and stuff like that to teach our athletes about NIL and about marketing and about branding yourself. And so we're going to have a full class for that. And we're going to have the parents and the athletes come in and run that through just so that they can be familiar with it. It's single moms that just don't know. It's dads that never played high-level sports. So all of those things, along with your podcast, like that kind of stuff, helps people that don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? And so that's what that's the next step that we're taking over here at 3P.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to follow up on that because I can tell you we've had multiple agents reach out to Jackson. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's happening. It definitely is there. And you got to learn to differentiate, so we definitely will have to pick that up. So one other thing I wanted to ask you about, and you played pro overseas. Tell us what that experience was like. How did you make that transition? How did you get to the pro level and to be able to play overseas? What was that like?
Well, it was just one of those things where, I had aspirations of going to the NBA. And so I went to school thinking that I was going to be able to go. And then once it didn't happen for me, I had to figure out a different way. So I had to find an agent. And of course, it's completely different than it was in 2008 is now. And so I had to find an agent, had to make phone calls, had to go to camps, had to go to pro level camps and those kind of things. And so I got opportunities based on the agent would help me out, and then he would send me to a country or send me somewhere, and then I would try out. And then when I try out, then I would make a team, and then I would play for the couple months when I was there, and then come back home, play in the semi-pro teams, and I played in multiple places in semi-pro, and then we'll go back over. But so I only played for 3 years.
Okay.
I only played 3 years because it was too much for very little. But again, I had the wrong representation. I wasn't as knowledgeable about what I was doing, and I didn't have the help. I didn't have the resources. And so that's a big thing that I do with my clients now, and how I transition my experiences playing pro, because I didn't have the greatest experiences, with how I trained them and how I helped them. Because now I have those relationships. Now I know where to go. Now I know what to do. Now I know who to talk to. I know the agents to talk to. That helps now with me. And so I think that that's what my calling was, and my blessing was from God, was hey, you see what this is? Now take it, go help other kids, go help other people. Help people do this. And that's my way of giving back, is with my knowledge of that stuff. So to answer your question, the transfer, it wasn't that hard because I was playing lower level competition. So it was just like playing college all over again.
Oh, really?
I didn't get to the highest level where it would where I could give you that true answer that you're actually looking for. From my personal experience.
Okay. All right. No, that's good to know. There are different levels to this overseas game. Definitely.
Now I could play at that level. I just didn't get the opportunity to. So over the summer, I would play with all the NBA players and those kind of things, because I had a house in LA and all of that stuff. So I was at UCLA, and I was playing with Mark Jackson and Mitch Richmond and Reggie Miller and Kevin Garnett.
Nice.
I was playing with them, so I know I can play with them, but it's still different in the NBA versus pickup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you have a good idea of what that level is when you've seen it.
That's what I'm saying. You can get a good gauge of where you stand amongst those people, amongst your peers.
No, definitely. That makes sense. What experience? Because I think the biggest thing I would say, and especially with this podcast, is, folks, it takes a village. There are people who've been where you're trying to go. And I would say the wisest thing is to seek that counsel.
Yeah, you have to. The biggest thing is understanding and not being afraid to ask questions.
Definitely.
Ask questions and try to figure out the best solution for you.
Definitely. Well, Champ, we're going to wrap up. Please for parents or anyone interested in training with you, how can they contact you? How can they reach you?
So again, I'm Champ Barlow of 3P Athletics, and you can reach me on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, and it's at 3P Athletics. The number 3, letter P, Athletics. And then to email me, it's champ at the number 3 P Athletics training.com, and easily just like that.
Excellent. Well, Champ, thank you so much for your time. I wish you continued success. We definitely have to catch up. I definitely have to come and check out the new Shark Tank.
Yes, sir. Come through, man. It's here. It's here.
Will do. Will do. Thank you.
All right. I appreciate